Hi, my name is Ryan. I'd like to welcome you to howtocurecandida.com. What the site's about, just before you scroll down and start thinking, oh, I don't have Candida, I don't know what this is. The purpose of the site is actually to resolve any chronic ongoing health condition someone has, especially if they've gone to naturopaths, alternative doctors, their MDs, and they just have no answers. The purpose of this is specifically to get to the core root of the problem and resolve it. So be it if it's a Candida, chronic fungal infection, if it's an infection of another kind, parasite issues, if it's bowel toxicity with liver congestion, liver congestion and toxicity, those actually being major issues a lot of people have alongside with Candida, and many times when they clear those, they can also clear the Candida. So we resolve all these other issues, we cover everything. Just as a background on myself, about 8 years ago, I was suffering from chronic pneumonia. I was sick every single month, basically almost every day of my life. I was basically sick up until the age of about 22 or 23. During that time, I suffered from a lot of skin issues. I had, as I mentioned, chronic pneumonia, chronic bronchitis as well. I actually suffered from SARS when I came through Toronto, so I got the best of everything. I had a lot of bowel issues, a lot of digestive issues, what MDs would label as IBS, things that were really bad, really painful. So I had that going on, sinus issues, breathing issues, skin issues, everything basically, the whole package. And I discovered after going through many naturopaths and alternative doctors that they finally labeled me as having chronic Candida. And apparently this turned out to be a major diagnosis that many people get. And they basically gave me some treatments. They gave me some probiotics, gave me some antifungals. They put me on a diet, which actually at that point I was already on the diet, probably 50% of what they consider the full diet. And after about a month, the doctor I was seeing at the time expecting me to have some miraculous recovery. And I was like, no, that's not happening. That's not the case. And I realized very quickly, actually, a lot of these naturopaths, alternative doctors, unless they're really hardcore, which you'd be surprised, there's not a lot out there that are hardcore to that level that actually cure you, they'll pretend like they're really doing something and they think they're helping you, and they're going to give you all these supplements and all these things and show you all of their credentials. But at the end of the day, if the results aren't there, that's what you're after, and if they're not providing it, then what's the point, right? So anyway, that's my experience. I went through all that, a lot of hassles. I spent easily $20,000 to $30,000 through my life trying to resolve this thing. In the last 8-10 years alone, it's probably been about 15 to 20 actually thousand I've blown on doctors, tests, all sorts of things just to get to the bottom of this, basically racking my brain. At the end of it all, researching every book I could, talking to every naturopath I met. I actually managed a health store for about 3.5 years, during which time I met a lot of people in the industry. I got to really see the inside part of the industry that people don't really want to see, of the alternative health industry, the nasty business side. Because I'll be honest, it's all money at the end of the day with all these guys, naturopaths. It's kind of unfortunate, but that's the truth of it. So the problem is a lot of times they'll actually string you along. They'll do an initial consultation, which is basically just getting your symptoms. They'll give you some basic supplements, and then you gotta come back again, you gotta come back again. By the time you're getting anywhere, you've already spent literally $500, and that's if you're lucky. A lot of times they'll probably blow $1,000, $2,000, and you'll finally be getting somewhere. Even then, who knows, after spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, are you gonna be cured? I don't know, I wasn't. I was let down over and over and over. So anyway, getting to the core of this, I basically did my research over the past 8 years. Every day, I go to work, working in the alternative health industry with supplements, everything to help, digestive complaints, respiratory issues, everything. Resolved all my issues within a year when I went full on. And then going after that, I just kept researching, learning about everything, alternative healing, everything about diet. And then when I wasn't satisfied, I went deeper. I went through all the forums. By the end of it, I was basically getting all the advice out of the forums because I realized there was no one left to teach me. So I'd go on and I'd research deeper. By the end of it, I basically flip open any book, and there was nothing any book could teach me that was simply reiterating what I'd already known or researched to that point. So at that point, I realized, maybe it's time to start putting together a guide. So over the last, I'd say it was, the website's been up now for about 2 years at this point. I finished the guide about a year, just under a year prior to putting up the website. So at this point, I guess it's been 3 years since I wrote the guide, and I've updated it since then. We originally had a first edition, And about a year and a half ago, we updated to the second edition, which has a lot of new information. But anyway, my point is we actually get to the core of all your health conditions, regardless of what it is. So if you're saying, oh, my doctor says I have this, my doctor says I have that, guaranteed the information in our guide will help you. It'll get to the core problem, show you the real reasons why you're suffering from what you're suffering from, and basically move you through it, what you have to do to resolve it. We give a 5-step system to resolve the health condition. We give a whole whack of alternative treatments, a lot of ones you probably never heard of. And that's the other thing, we give 100% money-back guarantee. If you happen to have actually, if you happen to know all this information, and hopefully if you're coming here, you're still looking for information, you know everything in my guide. It's very unfortunate, I hope you're not in that situation. But if you happen to know everything, which is very rare, I'm always open to giving refunds, returns. Basically, it's a money-back guarantee. If you read the guide, you're like, I'm not satisfied for whatever reason, 100% money-back guarantee, because our whole purpose here is simply just to give you the information, everything you need. We have our main guide, How to Cure Candida. We have the yeast infection guides, which blow the other yeast infection guides out of the water for topical genital yeast infection, and we throw those in for free. Those are just in there with the main guide. If you go to our deluxe package, we're going to throw in the cookbook, we're going to throw in a lot of different things. So I recommend just scroll down, you can read my story, you'll read about what's in the guide, what we cover, but I'd highly recommend the guide to anyone watching this who has had chronic health conditions for a long period of time throughout their life. I guarantee you the information in this guide will change your life. Absolutely, hands down. If you follow through with it, you will be feeling better. I can guarantee you that. Anyone who's ever done what I recommend in this guide has gotten better. And anyone who says they did and they didn't get better is lying. It's just not true. It's the foundation steps are right there. And I cover the basics, I do, but I get really deep into it as well. So for those people thinking this is just a rehash of old information they found elsewhere, I'm not like a lot of the other people you find online who are quote unquote, specialists or people who, have been in the industry for many years. Some of them maybe have been, but to be honest, I've researched a lot of them and a lot of them don't even exist. So to those people, I'd highly recommend you ask them to talk to them on the phone, see who they are, see if they're a real person even. Because in many cases, they're not, unfortunately. So that's why I'm making this video, just to show I'm a real person. I've done my research, I've done my homework, I've experienced this myself. Unfortunately, for better or for worse, I know you're going through a lot of the same nonsense. It's a lot of headaches, a lot of hassles, and the one thing I've realized, that all the testing and worrying in the world does not get rid of it. All you have to do is simply have the information, the blueprint in front of you, and to put it into action, to just do it. When you start doing it, you're going to see results, you'll start getting better. If you just sit there and keep worrying about it and keep running around in circles, seeing MDs who don't know they have no idea how to help you, naturopaths who just want to take your money and string you along until you're broke, those are your other options basically. So this is like your third option, what you can potentially do. It requires personal action. I'm not going to lie to you. If you're not into doing things for yourself, I'd actually recommend you leave the website. Don't even bother buying the book, because it does involve doing work for yourself. You're going to have to, in most cases, you have to cook for yourself. You're going to have to, not just even buy supplements for yourself, but you have to know how to take certain herbs. You have to buy the herbs. I teach you all this in the guide, but you're just going to have to, at the end of the day, do things for yourself. If you're weak and your health is so compromised, you can have someone read the guide with you and they can help you along. But at the end of the day, what I'm getting at is you can't keep going outside yourself expecting an MD, expecting a naturopath, expecting someone else to do the work for you. Even if they are actually setting you on the right path, at the end of the day, the ball's in your court. You have to do it yourself. So that's essentially what this is all about. Again, scroll through the page, read up on it. I have a lot of offers as well that I'm not even getting into right here that I highly recommend you read about, because I'm sure you'll be interested in. So that's it for now. Scroll down the page, and I'll see you later. Bye.